What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another Herr Lounge podcast, holiday edition. I don't know, something like that, maybe. If you don't know, Her Apparel is having a huge sale right now. Like, I'm talking about $10 items. And a new sale will begin just to kind of keep moving the needle. And that is for every order over 75, they'll get a free item, a mystery item. So, And before we get started, y'all know I like to start with a positive quote. And today is, be fearless in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because the new year's coming and there's changes that have to be made. Are you into the, Juan, are you into the setting New Year's resolutions? Or are you like, no, you should have like a resolution. Your resolution should be worked on all year long.
Nah, I stopped doing that a long time ago.
Yeah, I don't do New Year's resolutions either. I don't.
Know what the worst part?
They're pointless to me.
People put so much, what's the word?
Emphasis, like focus.
Pressure on themselves, and that's what I don't think they realize is like, you know, when you do that, you put a lot of pressure on yourself to not do it, and then when you don't do it, and you like fall, like start to, if you fall down once, like if you mess up or you do a cheat day or something, it like completely messes up all the momentum, and then you feel bad about yourself, and then you just go on a backslide, and you're just like, you know what, forget it, and then you never do it.
That's I always feel like that happens when you set unrealistic goals.
I think like it happens with just people in general.
You can't lose 50 pounds in 2 months. Like, it's not possible unless you're going to starve yourself, get some kind of surgery, or be on diet pills, or the latest one. I forgot what it's called, but it's the newest thing now that even like people that do like Botox and all that are injecting with is, I think it's like a diabetic medication. I forgot what that dang on shot is, because now you'll see advertisements where like these med spas are saying like now offering, dang it, what is that called? I don't remember what it's called, but it's like an injection you get and it helps you lose weight. A lot of celebrities are on it. I think, oh yeah, what's it called? Ozempic. See, I knew something like that. But Sharon Osbourne was on it. She just recently declared that she was getting off of it. So you know what I'm saying? People just set unrealistic goals. I feel like all year, like at the end of the year, and then when it's not reached, I feel like that's when the discouragement comes, or at least that's how I kind of felt, and why I stopped like with the whole setting New Year's resolutions. I legit do goals every month. So every month I set a goal, and I set 3 goals and then 3 things that I'm going to do to be able to achieve those goals. So far, I think 2 out of 3 have been working. The last one I'm still lacking. And I think I'm not going to keep talking about that one, because I'm sure everybody who listens to the podcast is tired of me saying how I have a struggle with social media lately. And obviously probably my Discord realizes it. You know, my Instagram shows it. I just don't want to be on social media, and it's really hard. Like, I don't want to like post. Does that make sense? Like, I don't mind looking at it, but I don't want to have to interact. I don't want to have to post, and I run this business. So like, I kind of don't have a choice, you know?
Give me your social media.
Somebody needs to take over it, because I just can't. I hate it. Like, it just gets on my nerves. I just want to look at stuff. I just want to scroll and look at stuff and like it or not like it. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. Like, I don't want to.
I say just give it to me and let me log in, and then you just start sending me shit you want me to post, and then I'll come up with the captions. Because
it's just kind of like, oh my God. I was on a mission to do Vlogmas this year, and you didn't know what Vlogmas was, y'all. Juan did not know what Vlogmas was. I still don't know what that is. So it's basically 12, you vlog every day for the next 12 days. First, like the 12 days of Christmas, but it's a vlog every day. So I have one already edited in my bank with a thumbnail and everything. Mm-hmm. It just takes 2 seconds to upload it, and I haven't done it. So today I'm going to do it. So when y'all hear this, I've already recorded this, so it should have already been out. So go to YouTube, guys, and please go watch my Vlogmas. And so how I'm going to cheat this Vlogmas, actually, is going to, remember I told you I had a bunch of footage that was just sitting there that I do vlogs that I supposedly say I'm going to edit and then I never post. Yeah. So I'm basically going to take like old videos, archives, and turn those into my Vlogmas. And the intro to every single one's going to be like, hey y'all, welcome back to Vlogmas. But these are actually old videos that I just have not posted. Like I still haven't posted when we were in Vegas.
And you're hearing all the sauce right now, guys. You're hearing you're hearing how it's made.
So that's been kind of that. I also supposedly vlogged us cleaning my studio. How ugly was that studio? My studio was like a hot mess in there. It was bad. It was bad in there.
Chingo, when y'all were doing it, he sent me the picture of the yard was full of stuff. I was like, how was that inside? So
bad. I was like, oh my God.
You know what? I'll put the picture up here so everybody sees it.
It was bad. Yeah. And I vlogged it, but I just haven't posted it either. See what I'm talking about? So yeah, those are things that are my, I guess, goals for 2024 is for me to be more active on social media. I had a meeting with my ladies from my Discord about what I want to do with my Patreon for next year. And I think they kind of helped me. They kind of helped me figure out what I should do. So shout out to my patronas for being the real G's of my Patreon and always helping and voicing and kind of giving suggestions on like what we can do. So I think the changes are going to have to end up happening in January just because you and I need to talk about some stuff. So that was supposed to happen in December, but there's two things I can't get done, and so. That's the reason why. So once we figure that out, that's going to be a change. Lots of good change, I feel. So check this thing out that I got. So you know how Instagram is great at selling you BS, right? Like all kind of stuff that's always advertisements. I mean, I send you shit sometimes. I'm like, could we use this? You know? Yeah. Okay, so there's a thing called Hub Boutique. And I don't know if you're a business or if you're set up as a business. I'm sure it has had to pop up in yours as you were scrolling because I feel like it only reaches people who have like some sort of like business, but I don't know. Anyway, so I ordered the planner and the planner is about this thick. Okay. It's a huge ass planner. The first half of the planner is basically a guide to being a boutique owner. Now, they're geniuses, and this is what I tell you, like about, like business is such a mental game. Like selling is a mental game, and maybe that's the part I haven't figured out with selling. You know what I'm saying? That's why I enjoy being at the store. Because I can interact versus being on social media. It's so hard to kind of gauge and see like how the person's vibing, if they like something, if they don't like something, like why is that keeping you from purchasing something? And when you're at the store, you're able to kind of see that and you're able to kind of interact. Oh, what are you looking for? Oh, you know. And first of all, I'm not a hater. So when someone comes in, and I think that's why God always does good for me, you know what I'm saying? It's because I never like, oh, don't go over there. Come over here. Come check out my shit. You know, when they tell me like they're looking for something, I'm like, let me see who has that. And I'll direct them into which ladies section actually has it, you know? And I really feel like that's why God is good to me because, you know, I'm not somebody who's like, no. You need to come buy from me type of thing, you know? Mm-hmm. Listen, I thought I was going to go back to Ilse for 2024. Mm-hmm. I'm going to test this out because I started to read the beginning of the planner and it has such good information. On top of that, for $39.99 a month, okay, you can basically, they give you info to new vendors, okay, and then they're niche specific. So let's just say I just found that out because I sat and read this actually some yesterday. So let's just say you're like a Western wear boutique. They've got your vendors for just Western wear boutique. If you're like a jewelry person, then this is some good vendors. If you're looking for a specific thing, right? Like let's just say you're like somebody that just wants to sell, I'm just going to give you an example, like baby wear. And what that means is like ways to wear your baby, like different slings or kangaroos or anything like that you to carry your baby, right? So a lot of these things are niche specific, which I think is great. And I don't know anybody else offering right now that. They also have a summit though. It's a 2-day event and it's in Los Angeles, right? And so the people that basically bought this planner in addition to like me reading it and trying to get info and trying to like improve my boutique for next year, I'm also peeping the game, like what they're doing, how smart they are, because they got me. They got me by buying the planner, 1, and 2, they've gotten me by saying, oh my God, I want to try out the membership, because they'll basically plan your entire monthly content for $39.99 a month. Memes to post, not memes, but like captions or something to post. How you do something in your story today, how you're going to do what you're supposed to do on there, what type of sales to do, how do you engage people. And I think you've talked about this before. We've had our meetings, is basically they're saying, you're not really here to sell things. You're here to make a connection with your customer. And because that customer is going to make a connection with you, and they're going to remember you. And the next time someone says, oh, I'm looking for blah, 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 you know what? You should go to Her Apparel, because Her Apparel always has like some of this stuff, some of that stuff, or whatever the case may be, right? So they talk about what you're also gaining information, emails, doing services through the text messaging, like that stuff, like all that stuff is important, because eventually, there's going to be something better than Instagram. Eventually there's going to be something better than, it's obviously technology is always going to get better. So having this personal information from your customers is super important. Like the Hive does a very good job of that. They take everyone's email. So they have like, as soon as you like pay, there's a thing there like, want to join our mailing list, and they have that. So that's like a really good thing that they have. And they've been in business since before the pandemic. So those customers who were shopping at the store they had in River Oaks are now shopping over here, plus the new customers they've gained from now the Rice Village. Does that make sense? So like all that is so important, so like there's just a lot of good tips in there. And I hate that they got me, because I'm like, damn, but they offer courses on there, all for that one price. You see why I'm sold?
Yeah. Well, here's what I've been, because, okay, so I have to do videos and all this other stuff, but then I have to do the comedy stuff. But then right now I've been deep diving on marketing and business and all this other stuff. So all this is like, this stuff is literally what I've been learning. So like, and lately I've been going through that whole thing. But all the stuff you're talking about, that's still not even the beginning. What we need to do, and this is what I think a lot of businesses need to start with, because if they don't, this is where they always fail, because they're doing other stuff before they even got the foundation set. So the foundation needs to be set up of your mission. Your mission, you're basically what you are, because there's only 2 different ways of starting the business. So your mission oriented you have to first figure out what kind of business are you? Are you going to be quality or speed? Like what's your main thing? Because at the end of the day, like even with money and stuff, the main course, the main thing is goods and services. Like what's passing, so you have to understand those things first before we can even figure out, okay, goods and services. Okay, I'm also a personality. So now, what do I want my brand? When people say her, do they want luxury? Is it just like, oh, the products are just good enough to get you by? Like what is my mission statement? Like what am I going to be known for? Quality or speed? Do I get everything done on time? Which is good. I mean, people do that all the time. Like there's different ones like Walmart, Louis Vuitton. There's different things that they're known for. Like Walmart's known for cheap prices. Louis Vuitton's like, oh no, that's luxury. Like that's you got to have that. So we got to figure out what's your brand. Like what do you want them to associate your name, her, with, and then kind of go from there to figure out what direction we're going to go in, and then we start planning around okay, if it's going to be like this, we got to do this. So not to give out too much, but like those are the things that I've been looking into where it's like, okay, so we got to get this base down. And once we do that, then when we figure out what our mission is, what our statement is, then we kind of go into, let's start putting in, okay, how can Juan be help here? How can I be help here? How can we streamline this to where I'm not wasting energy and headaches on things I don't even need to be worried about? It's just like, we're going to start right here and we're going to start expanding. And then my business is going to grow word of mouth because I'm executing this exactly the way I said I was. And because you're also an influencer, like where you have a big following already, you're not starting from the ground up. So what could take somebody 5 to 10 years? You've already bridged the gap, most of that, because you already have somewhat of a following already. So now we got to figure out who's the buyers, and are we giving them things that they want? Are these good fits? Because when people say that I gotta get better at selling and stuff, it's not that you gotta get better at selling. It's just you gotta get better at matching what works with what. So like people are gonna.
Well, I already know where my downfall happened because I was able to offer a variety of sizes before. I'm not able to offer that anymore in the fast fashion industry, because once you go past a large, I think I've talked about this before also on my podcast, is you're now considered a plus size woman. And so to a woman, that's an insult, because really a plus size woman is probably going to be, because I think even like right now, even a size 14 is normal, a size 16 is normal. So I would say probably anything past an extra large or 2XL, probably anything past 2XL, to be honest with you, is going to be like, where I'm struggling to find. I've been able to find 2XL, but I'm sorry, like I hate that I have to put that cost on my customer, but it costs me more to buy stuff that are 2XL. So I've completely took it out of my business. Like I knew that I just couldn't do that in the fashion world. Now, when I do t-shirts, I don't have a problem with that, because plain t-shirts don't cost me as much as fashion does. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't, and that's if I want to sell, if I want to sell at least medium grade items. You know what I'm saying? Like if I don't want to be too fast fashion, you know what I'm saying, to where like I'm just selling like, Walmart items, where they're good for right now, but they're probably not going to last for, another 3 months. But my whole mission has always been, and it's on my bio of my thing, is selling confidence to women through fashion, because I feel that's what fashion does. The reason I was so accessories before is because I think it's the one item, and I've said this plenty of times, that never makes like a woman feel fat or thin. Does that make sense? Because earrings do a whole other vibe. A ring does a whole other vibe. Having a jewelry for some people it's the shoes, for some people it's a bag, a hat. You know what I'm saying? Accessories never make you look fat, and they never make you look thin. They just add a touch to your look. You know what I'm saying? And if you rock it, you can rock fashion with high end and just normal, like anywhere. Like I mix all the time. You know what I'm saying? I mix high end with, my stuff with, I don't really do Walmart, just because, man, Walmart, I feel like you wash it one time and that's just kind of it. I'll do Target. Target's probably a little bit better quality, but I try not to buy nothing from Target now. So, I'm boycotting Target. So, I try not to buy anything from there now, but, there's just certain things that, I try to do. But I know that I feel like in my business, I've done the disconnection, because like you said, I think a lot of people don't want to see what, and I know this has been my problem for the longest, and I have proof of it. When I would hire models to promote my shit, I never sold anything until my last, the guy that used to do my stuff for me, He said, have you ever thought about being the model yourself? I said, absolutely fucking not. I do not want to be the model of my own brand. Like, I don't. You know what I'm saying? I want to be the behind the scenes, the ones that curates the items, picks it out, you know what I'm saying, styles it so that the model can wear it, not so that I can wear it. Mm-hmm. But I guess what we kind of figured out is people are kind of buying my items, not so much because it's her apparel, you know, it's more so because they correlate both of us together. And so I guess that part falls into the influencer part, which I don't feel like I'm an influencer and I don't want to be an influencer, but I guess I kind of got in that without really intending to do that.
I've told you this before, but it's like, it's because your brand is you, like, because you are just as you are your brand. Like, the problem is that like, you have a big personality. So if you didn't have a big personality, you had a shitty personality, they'd be like, yeah, that shirt looks dope on the model, but it's like, because it's you, it's like, oh no, I want to support her and this is great and it looks great on her, man, I'm gonna rock that. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you blended with the brand, because there's some people where, like, I don't even know who, like, I know the brand Louis Vuitton. I don't know who the fuck that is.
Who that person?
I don't know who the person is. That's why they're able to do models and fashion shows and stuff, because they're outside of that. You kind of became the brand, so it's like, I want to wear that with you. So like, you've blended, and it's not a bad thing. It's just it's almost too late to go back.
Yeah, I know.
It's too late to go back, because you've already when you
especially
started your mission.
I live life.
Also look at your mission statement. Look at what did you say it was?
Selling confidence to women through fashion.
And that kind of thing is relatable to everybody. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's a big thing. And so like, you're the face of it now, like, because they're like, oh, I love her, because that idea is also like, you're kind of strutting it too, where they're just like, oh, she's about that, and then she also is that, she's, you know.
And then the struggle is that, yeah, when I started my brand, I was cute, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I was not fat, I wasn't like overweight or anything, and so a lot of my struggle, which I'm trying to get over, and I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna get over it. I think it's kind of, and Ilse has told me 100 times to do this, but I just can't get myself to do it. And I think it's because I was not this size before children, you know? Mm-hmm. So a lot of times my struggle is I feel like I'm too fat to be like, I don't want to be on the camera, right? I don't like the way I look. Mm-hmm. That's kind of like, even with the podcasting, I've told you, oh my God, Juan, zoom out. Oh my God, Juan, zoom in. Like, you know, I'm like, you know, I'm constantly like saying stuff, you know? And so that's my struggle. So taking pictures with my new items, I don't want to do because I don't like the way I look. But I already had this little talk with myself the other day, and I said, the only way you're going to continue to be able to sell your items is if you show women, right? I had a long convo with myself, trust me. And I just told myself, I said, they need to see that someone this current size that I am can still rock this. And as you continue to lose weight, it still looks good at someone that's at this size. And wherever I feel I'm going to get comfortable and stay at, then that's where I'm going to get comfortable and stay at. And that's where I'm going to rock the clothes. But I feel like if I show it now at a little bit of a thicker size, right, then I feel like maybe women will start feeling like, okay, she's relatable again. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, let me stop you right there, because I don't think you've thought about this. I don't know if you've thought about what you're saying right now. Do you know how many, you want to talk about relatable, you know how many women have had kids and are struggling with the same thing you're going through? A gajillion have some type of body dysmorphia of, I had my kids, but I was never like this. I had my kids and I have stretch marks now. I have my kids and I did. You know how many women struggle with that, especially in America? Mm-hmm. All of them. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's only like a select few that are like, but are just like blessed from God, like never. Yeah, just bounce back. I don't know, and I eat whatever I want. It's like, oh, like everybody hates you.
No,
like
exactly.
but right now, if you're open and you're okay with being open about this and actually showing women how you're dealing with it and how you're going, because people look up to you, and then you having this relatability.
I hate hearing when you say that.
I know,
it's just so awful. I don't like that.
women look up to you. But it's true. Like if they're following you to support you, and now if you're putting this out there and this is your story, this is literally how relatability works. And it's the ugliest part because like, you're like, I don't want to be relatable about this. It's unfortunately that's what it is.
I know. And he just begged me to make videos about it before when I was like not wanting to meet up with her to do anything content related. Yeah. She's like, what's the problem? What's going on? I just finally told her, I said, I don't like the way I look. I'm struggling with my weight. This is also right before I had my surgery. Because, I just couldn't figure out why, like, none of the weight was falling off. Like, I was just like, oh, my gosh, like, I'm working out. I don't understand. And, obviously, I found out what all was happening. And then I had the surgery. Then I couldn't do anything for a hot minute. And, even now, man, when I work out, I was telling Chingo the other day, I said, I did legs. And then, like, my incisions where I had the umbilical hernia done, they started hurting. I was like, fuck, man. I was like, wonder why it hurts. And I was like, I didn't even lift heavy, like, because I still kind of scared still to do it all the way. And I was like, man, I don't know what the hell's going on. Then remember a couple of weeks ago, I was like hurting, like my belly button was hurting. And then I talked to Javi because he had that same surgery done. And he said it comes back. He goes, oh, I've heard that in 4 years it happens again. I was like, oh, geez, Javi, thanks a lot. I'm like, if this happens again, I'm sorry, my belly button's just going to stay sticking out because I'm just not doing that damn surgery again. I can't do it. But yeah, so that's a lot of the stuff that I was struggling with. I've started to lose weight finally now. It's like happening. It was weird. Like my body was kind of stuck somewhere. I don't know what, maybe like after I had the hysterectomy and then the umbilical hernia repair, maybe like my body's like, oh, okay, we're starting to finally recover from it. I mean, it hasn't been that long, this is only my 4th on the 7th. Is today the 7th? Today's the 4th.
I have 4th.
On the 4th. Yeah. Okay. On the 7th of this month of December will barely be 4 months. So it hasn't been that long. And they say it takes somebody almost a full year to really recover. So, you know what I'm saying? Like that whole, and then people have asked that somebody left me a comment and said, can you make a video about your hysterectomy? Well, I have a confession. I have a whole video that's in my
exclusively to the Patreon.
Yeah, exactly right. That's in my dang on archives that I never posted. And I said, oh, that's what I'll do while I'm laying there, is I'll edit these videos so that, I can have content still out. But then it was like I was having pity parties while I was sitting there. I was like, fucking hate that I can't move. Like I have to ask people to do stuff. I just want to be able to get up by myself. And you know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of struggle. I have a friend who just had a baby. And she's a petite person normally. And she had a C-section as well. And it's crazy because she's like saying like, oh my God, I'm only eating once a day. I got to lose this weight. And so she's like being real hard on herself. And it's funny because it's so much easier for me to give advice to someone else and tell them like, encourage them. One of the things my midwife said to me, she said, it took you 10 months to make your baby. So give yourself as long as you need to like be back to whatever is normal for you because you grew a whole human. Do you know what your body did? Like during that time, it's like ridiculous that we have these standards, she would say, you know what I'm saying? To like have to be back in a year, back to what you were before your child. And it's like, you're not the same person you were before your child. So you're not the same age. You're not the same body, you grew a whole human, so everything inside you has already changed, so she was like, I don't know where you got, she goes, I don't know if this is from you being in the bodybuilding world, because this was after Penny. She's like, but you got to let that go,
I would say this, and this is however you want to take this, but this is what you should do, and it should be it's to make it as easy as possible for yourself, so you're not overthinking and putting so much pressure on yourself or anything like that. literally, because I started kind of realizing this too, just doing all the social media stuff, because I didn't realize how far I've come from when I first started.
Yeah.
To the point where it's like, whenever I just open my mouth now, people are like, I didn't know you could do that. I'm like, oh yeah, it's basic. Like, you just do this. And they're just like, bro, you just dropped the whole class on me. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, this is the basic shit. And they're like, no, dude, like, you know a bunch of shit now. And I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that. And I think you are the same way, where it's like, listen, people want to take your advice because you're a businesswoman. You did bodybuilding before. You know, you're a mom, a wife. You're always putting your kids and stuff. Like, there's a bunch of good that people can take from. You're just trying to make everything so perfect to get it the way that, like, no, if I put it out like this, because you're like a perfectionist, I got to put it out like this so that they can see this. It's like, no. Literally, if you want to do a thing, the most relatable part about you is that you're doing all these things. So if you can show people the struggle, they love that. And most of those videos will probably go viral because they're going to be like, oh my God, dude, that's my morning. Oh my God, I go through the same thing. She goes through the same thing. Oh shit. And then just the fact that, like, showing what you're struggling with right now. And I know that's the hardest thing. People are like, why don't you just show it? It's because it's a whole mental thing of like, look, man, I got to be okay with putting this on video.
And also, like, who has the time to put up? It's like you have to set up the tripod. The tripod has to capture the right stuff. You know what I'm saying?
This is the perfectionist, though. This is the perfectionist in you. Really, I'm telling you, if you literally just take the phone and be like, guys, what's up? Good morning. This is my breakfast. I just want to hold myself accountable. Just letting you guys know I'm doing this now. You know, this is day 3, 4, whatever. Boom, post, boom, done. Or it could just be like 10 minutes live. Hey, what's up, guys? We're doing this stuff. And you just hear Penny and your little Chucky's in the background.
Chucky's sick right now. So she's calm right now. Right now, she's an angel.
The beast is calm.
Like, she's calm right now.
Just imagine, just that in the morning, just having in the morning, like a quick little, I think because everybody's doing all these things and like they're putting up the perfect, you know how many people they hired for that? Like, there's some people that are spending thousands and thousands of dollars on just psychologists to put the thumbnail with the verbiage. Like, it's ridiculous. Like,
well, you know what I saw the other day is a mom that posted her child crying because she was trying to put, I guess, the little mask to help you breathe. And she's like explaining like how hard this has been as a first time mom, blah, 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 blah. And in my mind that's a true influencer, because if my child is screaming her brains out because I'm trying to give her like some kind of like breathing treatment or whatever, I'm honestly not going to think to go get my camera to show y'all that my child is crying because I'm trying to give her a breathing treatment. Does that make sense? I almost feel like it's a little bit of a violation of my child's, like, you know, the way they feel. So do you see why sometimes it's a little bit hard? Now, that is the reason why I don't have a perfect, I've always said this, is why I don't have a perfect Instagram. I never wanted perfect pictures unless they were like a photo shoot or like Christmas right now that I already did my family Christmas pictures, right? Like, those are the things that I want. I don't want every picture to have this perfect filter or this perfect aesthetic because my life is not perfect. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So that was my number one thing. I did want my brand, though, my Her Apparel. I did want that to be perfect, aesthetic, colors, vibes, everything. Unfortunately, because I was falling behind with my merch account, and I wasn't meeting up with Ilse. Like, Ilse and I she is really, I don't know how she does this, but she remembers that she owes me 2 months because I quit doing it, and we never recorded anything. We never did no reels. We never did no photo shoots. And so she's like, listen, like, you paid for 2 months, so do you want to use your one of them for your family photo shoot since you're going to do it? I said, oh my God, that'd be perfect. Let's just do that. So my photo shoot for my family pictures came out of that 1 month that she owes me. So she's like, we have 1 more month. What do you want to do? and we were going to do all my Christmas stuff, right? But thankfully, a lot of my Christmas stuff sold out already. So there wasn't a need for the photo shoot, which is really what I wanted to do. So that kind of worked out. And that really just sold at the last market I have, which on the next episode, I will talk about how crazy that's been. So we'll go into that later because I feel like it would all go and tie in together with the whole business, and as a business owner, all the deals and the headaches that you have to mess with, you know? So, but yes, I agree with you about that. I am a perfectionist. I do have a hard time with that. You know that. I mean, you'll ask me, I'm like, no, that's not the right pink one. You know what I'm saying? Like
the way to think about this, and this is basically just think about it like this. You either have to play it two different ways. Either one, you play the payment game where you're competing with thousands and thousands of dollars on hiring the best of everything and trying to compete with Mr. Beast. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You're either on that side of it, or your social media goes to authenticity mm-hmm. and relatability. Mm-hmm. And right now, that's have the most relatability in the sense that like you're going through the struggle. Now, this is the key thing. Is like one. I mean, honestly, is I don't think people understand like how hard it is to be relatable and to like be visual with the thing you're struggling with right now, because so many women go through it, but nobody talks about it mm-hmm. that much. Mm-hmm. And so you stepping out of that, there's a lot of mental things that have to go on for you to do that. And once you start doing it though, it will get easier and actually get better for you. And then that's where we start to refine it to where it's like, okay, it's going to be to where it's like, it's almost like breathing. It's just like, oh, I think this would help. Like, instead of thinking, what's the perfect video? Instead, your mentality is, oh man, you know what? I'm going to make a video about this because I think this would help this lady. I think this could help this type of person. Mm-hmm. I think this would help this person. Like, when you're making videos like that, and that's the mentality behind it, it's going to come back to you tenfold, because at that point, you're actually helping somebody with their struggle. Mm-hmm. But you can only go through that if you go through it, because then you're like mentally working on yourself to be able to be like, well, this is how I got over it. It may work for you, it may not work for you, but this is what I did. And at least you're having the conversations about people confronting these certain things that they're not willing to do already. Mm-hmm. Everybody's just quiet about it, don't want to talk about it, and go through it and just pretend like everything's fine.
For sure. I agree.
So I think that's the way we should kind of go for it.
Or like pretend like your life is super duper perfect. You mm-hmm. know what I'm saying? And then it's like, I kind of know you. I know your life is not that perfect, but mm-hmm. okay, I'm going to let you appear as that on your social media. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, that's the biggest struggle with me. Like, I can't stand it when I see someone like post something and I'm like, what? You hated your husband last week. You literally texted me about it. And right now you're so in love again. I'm like, okay.
That's like that one time I was dating that married lady and she was like, my husband's great. And I'm like, you were just with me.
On that note, guys, thank you guys so much for listening. I will see you guys Friday. Bye.